Dove.
Hi there. Can you wait up? Marvelous Monday. Can anyone hear?
I can hear you, but you keep going in and out.
Let me try another mechanism.
Okay, that sounds pretty good right there.
No, it went back out.
It did.
So maybe when I say I'm about to leave, it starts to act accordingly. Is that what it is?
Yes, sounds like it.
So could you hear me completely?
Yes, I heard that very well.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and get started. If you guys can hear me, awesome. If you cannot, I'll be more than happy to join on another night as well. But I am Kimberly Dove, and I am the board president for Fulton County Schools, and I also represent District 6. I have the pleasure of serving on our board with 6 other amazing women, Francesca Warren, who serves in District 4, and Katie Gregory, who serves in District 3, who are all in the South County. Also have the pleasure of serving with Katha Stewart, Lily Pozatek, Kristen McCabe, and Dr. Michelle Moranci. And any information that I share tonight can be found on www.fultonschools.org. First thing I want to highlight is many of you has asked about the Bridge to Success. Most of you know that with the federal fundings of ESSER 3, Fulton County Schools, which is also named ARP funds, received $168 million. And I am so excited to let you know that out of the $168 million, Fulton County Schools has allocated and $54 million dedicated to the science of reading, which is every child reads. That's so exciting because what that does is that it gives our educators the opportunity to learn how to teach children to read at every level, starting from elementary school. It also helps us develop our leadership as well. We've focused money on student safety, and also we have built a SAFE Center, which is the Student Family and Engagement Centers, which are located at Tri-Cities High School and Banneker High School. And this year, we launched the Banneker High School 2.0 Safe Center that has in it a washer and dryer, frozen and dry goods for food. It also has a barbershop chair where a barber can come and give our students haircuts. So we're really, really excited about that. Also, our pre-K registration window is open. Most of you have been to kindergarten. Kindergarten is not your today's kindergarten. And with that, we have a lottery application period that's open for pre-K right now. And it will close on March the 17th at 11:59. At Banneker, we're also excited to let you know that the girls varsity basketball team will be playing Cambridge High tomorrow night, guys, February 21st at 6 p.m. And believe it or not, this is their first time going to playoffs since the early 90s. So we are so excited for our girls basketball team at Banneker High School. Most people would like to know, okay, we're looking at college and career ready. I want to let you know that we have several schools that have been named by the Georgia Department of Education as AP expansion schools. AP are advanced placement schools. And if our students receive a 3 or more, they will earn college credits. That is occurring at Banneker High School, Creekside High School, Langston Hughes High School, Tri-Cities High School, as well as Westlake as an expansion program. So we had AP courses there, but we also continue to expand those AP courses at those schools. At Langston High School, we also have AP's Humanities School. At Westlake High School, we have AP STEM School, which was notarized as well. Also, our College and Career Academy, and many of you may know, sit on the other side of Banneker off of Flat Shows. It's at our South Learning Center. And that program offers animation, which is animation and digital media. It offers audio, video, and technology and film. It offers construction, culinary arts, and teaching as a profession. We need a whole bunch of teachers with the teacher shortage coming up. And also, we also offer unmanned aircraft systems pathways as well. And the unmanned aircraft system, you guys know as what? Tell me. USA drones. And what's cool about that is that all the information our students learn there, it will prepare them for the Federal Aviation Administration unmanned aircraft system exam. So last year, we had 2 amazing students become FAA certified in Fulton County Schools. Tomorrow night, also at the South Learning Center at our College and Career Academy, they will be having an open house demo night from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And with that, you'll be able to meet teachers and staff, as well as participate in hands-on activities. You'll also, for students, be able to start the application process. And also, guess what else they're doing? They're having free dinner that's prepared by students in our culinary arts program. And I will tell you that those students are amazing. They will cook for the Board of Education frequently, and we always enjoy their food. I'm more partial to their asparagus because they make it the best to me. Now, you do have to register for that, and which is by tonight is February the 20th. So please go online and register to see exactly what's happening. Our College and Career Academy is not your traditional wood shop. Woodshop now has become construction and audio, visual, and technology. Tomorrow also, at 6:30 p.m., I will be having a District 6 community meeting at McNair Middle School at 6:30. And that meeting will focus primarily on the items that we discussed on our February 7th work session. We'll be going over our building plans that has been recommended by the board and things of that nature. So I will go into those in detail. Our next board meeting will be at the South Learning Center on Thursday as well at 4:30 p.m. And then for some more fun things, and I want to just talk, do you guys have questions as I go along? I can't see if someone's hand is raised or not, but I'll let you know as well. This weekend, our students in our middle schools in all South County, Bear Creek, Camp Creek, McNair Middle, Paul D. West, Renaissance, Sandtown, Woodland, and College Park Elementary was able to participate in an anti-bullying concert that was led by That Girl Lele and Dylan. Have you ever been around a bunch of teenage students and elementary students who were so excited with clean rapping and entrepreneurs whose focus was on anti-bullying?
Ms. Dub, I'm sorry to interrupt you. This is Jane. You got two people with their hands up, Chandra Simmons and Ms. Collins.
Okay. We'll take questions. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, Ms. Dove, this is Chandra. So I heard you mention that the culinary arts student. I wanted to know, as part of the STEM, if those students have a garden that they also are growing foods and preparing them as needed for any sort of occasion.
For the culinary school that's at our College and Career Academy, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
No, ma'am, they are not. But let me tell you where they are. They are doing that at Creekside, which has an amazing agriculture program where
You're
they're
absolutely
growing,
right.
where they're growing all of their food. One of the things that we end up doing is making sure that our students have access to all of those items. And we want to make sure that each high school offers something amazing and different for our students. So if they want to go to Creekside and agriculture, they have ability to do that. And if they wanted to focus on culinary, learning how to cook, then they would choose Banneker's or the College and Career Academy, to be exact.
Now I understand how I understand more clear about the setup. When I said STEM, I was thinking it's all housed in one. Each school offers everything as part of the acronym, but particular schools have more in-depth programs and opportunities than others.
Yes, but we do offer STEM classes in each one. What I'm speaking about is specifically certifications in those areas. Does that make sense?
Now it does. Okay.
Yeah, it makes, so we offer STEM in all of our high schools. Don't let me misstate that. But we have a specialty in STEM that is at Westlake High School. Although Banneker has a STEM program as well, and we were notarized by the Department of Education of Georgia for that last year. So just because it's not one of our premier, is what I want to call magnet specialty programs, it doesn't mean that those offerings don't exist in our high schools currently.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. And I wasn't jabbing at you as it relates to the program, the culinary arts specialty. It's just, I'm an urban farmer, and so I like to speak on that, especially during this time period, whereby if you're not growing your own, it's something, if you have the time and ability and the interest, it's something to really consider.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things is as we continue to expose our children, that's what we need to continue to do. Exposure is critical. I know that Representative Mandisha Thomas, and I know you know her as well, she is a pioneer in that area to make sure that that happens for our Fulton County schools, as well as the other districts that she served. And she was able to work with the state house to get our Creekside agriculture teacher to go to pay him part-time to go train other areas urbanly to get interest in it.
And I do know Travis. I have been to Creekside, and yes, it is a massive facility, and it is beautiful to me. It is absolutely beautiful. So
see, that's where I go get my eggs, my greens, but all you guys can't now try to show up because these eggs are getting expensive.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much for sharing. Thank you all so much for sharing that information. I definitely appreciate that.
Okay, well, did you have any more questions? Or
yes,
who was the
Glenda,
second person?
Miss Glenda Collins.
Oh, hey, Miss Collins. How are you?
How you doing, Miss Dove?
I am excellent. How are you? What question do you have?
My question is regarding the reading program that's going to be implemented. Is that beginning with this school term?
It actually began last year. So what we did is called the science of reading. What we realized is that some of our educators were coming out of college not knowing how to teach children to read, because some of the older curriculums focused on while you get to elementary, your kids already pretty much know how to read, and the collegiate system is working to address that. So we realized that we needed to make sure that we pour the resources into our teachers to teach them the science of reading. So let's say, for example, a student was in an upper grade and they were having challenges, and the challenge may not be because they don't necessarily aren't strong and don't have interest. They may not be a strong reader. Right? So by every educator learning how to read or teach children, more importantly, how to read, they can identify those needs earlier and get them the resources that they need. And so while other districts focused on other things, I am excited that we put a lot of money and energy in teaching teachers how to teach children to read, training them, and then seeing that being implemented. And as you can see, a lot of our test scores that came back in this region, even after COVID, we have one school that did not make it out of all of our schools in the South.
Okay, that's good. So that includes reading, writing, and comprehension.
It includes reading and comprehension.
No writing.
Writing is done through another program.
But as long as they comprehend what they are reading, then they should be able to write.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're working on that as well. So it's a two-pronged approach.
Okay. Well, hopefully the students will understand that if they intend to pursue that education, they will need to learn how to write proficiently.
That's excellent. That's a good point. And we're working towards strengthening that area as well. We definitely have some areas of growth there as well.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Ms. Jane, are there any additional questions?
Yeah, there's a question in the chat from Natasha, and it reads, is this program open to students who are in Georgia Cyber Academy?
No.
Okay. So
this is provided by the Fulton County School Board of Education. Georgia Cyber Academy Board of Education has the ability to implement it for their students as well. what we realized is that Fulton County was on a leading edge. When everyone during the pandemic were focusing on other things, our superintendent brought us the science of reading and said that this was going to change our students. And we've already seen those jump in numbers, even through the pandemic. Our students had learning loss, but even in a learning loss, they still were able to learn and catch up with reading. We still have a lot of work to do now. Right. Don't let me misstate that. We still have
exactly. A lot of work to do. It's ongoing, right?
Yes, but to put money and resources like that, there's never been a time in Fulton County schools where we have had a surplus of money to do something that systemically will help our students for years and years and years to come.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, let me see. I see another question. Chandra, did you put your hand down, or is that another question? Okay, that must be another question. I mean, that must be the same one. So now we have Kundiap, Miss Perry, or Kundiap Perry?
Yeah, Kandia.
Kandia, okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You gave it the college try. I do have a question. So how, I'm trying to word this properly, word it correctly. I know there's a couple of kids, one in particular in my neighborhood. He's 8 years old and he does not know how to read. How would someone, how would you find out if his particular school benefited from this program? And if so, how do you contact the school and say, hey, you've got kids that can't read and you all should be addressing that? I don't know if I said that correctly, but hopefully you understand my question.
I absolutely understood what your question was. Let me repeat it. Let me repeat what I thought I heard you say, is that you've identified a student that lives in your neighborhood that cannot read. And because he cannot read, what are some next steps that an adult can do to ensure that this student learns how to read?
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. And let me tell you, if the child is a student of Fulton County Schools, and let me be real clear, a student of Fulton County Schools, then what a parent should do is reach out to that child's teacher and the principal to ask, what are the next steps? We end up pulling kids out into small groups, giving them high dosage areas. But remember, if a student is 8, they weren't in school for 2 years, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And so they were just entering school, pretty much, first grade, right? So can you imagine what that did for that student? So it's a lot to catch up with. Some of our students are 2 grades behind. That's a lot to catch up with. But we're working hard to identify those students and give them that small dosage support. Also, for those students, we're offering a summer school program as well. And it's an enrichment program that helps them strengthen their skills in reading and math. Okay. So that's what we tend to forget, right? An 8-year-old was only 6, probably just started going to school in, kindergarten, maybe first, depending on when their birthday lies. And so if they were home and unfortunately didn't have, parents who could manage working at home or being available to use some of the resources that we have, we also have literacy boxes that we send home with kids as well. So there are little books that we send home with kids to help them at home and on the weekends.
Oh, okay. And that's something that a parent would have to request?
We usually give it out. Okay. We give it out if they go to our schools.
Right. Yeah, he definitely attends Fulton County Schools.
Where? What school?
I don't know. I'll have to find out. I know we're over here by in the McNair Middle School or Elementary. Mm-hmm. Bethune Elementary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is definitely one of our schools. And we have a new leader over there. It's been there a year now. So definitely reach out to their teacher and to the principal if you are not successful there, and let them know that you have concerns about the student. And they may share with you that they're already pulling the student out, right? So also it's about awareness.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get with his mom and see what can be done. Because like I said, I don't know if that's the school he goes to. I'm assuming that would be the only elementary school he could be zoned for, but I'll have to check.
He could be zoned for Heritage, Bethune, depending on what part of McNair, or also Fairwood.
Heritage sounds familiar. I think that may be the school. I'll check with the mother, and I appreciate you answering that and breaking it down, because I hadn't thought about that. You're right. He would have been 6 years old when COVID hit and they went virtual.
And then our students had a really hard time. So we've also invested, I mentioned the Safe Center, our middle school and high school students. We had middle school students who were never really in the middle school building, but went right into high school, right? So they didn't, understand the transition of transition of classes and things of that nature. So we have mental health people as well, because it is really a thing. And we have something that is called Text for Help that students can use and parents can use when students are feeling really overwhelmed.
And that's called Text for Help?
Text, TEXT, for help. But that's not the number. Let me find the number for you and give you the number.
Okay, thank you.
If I can find it. Next question while I look for that.
Okay. Well, I don't see any more hands up or see any questions in the chat, but I will ask Ms. Dove. This is Jane again. And did we get the situation straight with was it Langston Hughes School that had the issue? Oh, is it? Yeah, that's going down school. So did they get that issue resolved about those students who were supposedly, not in the right zone to be going to that school, to be attending that school?
I think you may be talking about Westlake High School.
Westlake, yeah, I'm sorry, Westlake. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we did. Okay. I'm popular at this. I'm very unpopular, along with Miss Warren. But we had students who were zoned for other counties.
Wow, other counties?
Other counties.
Wow.
Attending Westlake High School.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. Okay. Chandra, is that your hand up again?
Yes.
Okay. That's
so, okay. Ms. Dove, my question is, it may seem kind of harsh, but I still want to ask. This is piggybacking on the woman that was speaking prior to Jane that sound the alarm about a child that is illiterate. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you helped me to understand too. Wait a minute, the child was 6 at the start of COVID. So fast forwarding, when you recognize that a child is in need of immediate help, what's the level of accountability to his caregiver, i.e. parents or whomever take care of this child's personal needs and development or lack thereof?
Well, we are responsible for children, not the adults, unfortunately. And we take children, because it's a public school education, as they are. we identify the needs of the student, but it was COVID, right? Like,
right.
I think we have to be a little sensitive during that time about what a parent's capability is. There are some who think that parents just send their kids for daycare. I don't necessarily believe that. I believe that parents send their best kid and they want to give them an opportunity, and they know that somewhere they can be safe and learn. So
Understood.
during COVID, if that student really didn't know, kindergarten and first grade, guys, is not like it was when I was in school. It's not like it was
at all.
when my youngest son, who graduated from Georgia State, was in school, right? They were doing, my son we're doing PowerPoint presentations in the 5th grade for science. They're now pushing those down to 3rd grade. I said, what? You know, because they're technology friendly, right? They're technology friendly, and it's easy for them to put together something in text form, put it on a application, and be able to share it. Now it's PowerPoint, it's Canva, it's telling a story. When our students are applying for our magnet programs, some of our magnet programs require them to send in a video and explain why they want to come to the school and what benefit will they see for themselves in the future. And these students are amazing when they are able to communicate that. So, you know, I just think that it's all of our responsibility in order to help educate our kids because of the pandemic. So some of them were already behind. The pandemic made them further behind. And as public education, I owe it to every student to provide them with the necessary resources to catch them up.
Right.
And as we continue,
I agree with you there. I truly do. And I was speaking from a holistic perspective. It's not just the teacher. And unfortunately, because my background is pediatric nursing. So I'm a nurse, and which is absolutely why I don't have any children now.
Yeah.
But
thank you for what you do, though.
Thank you. But I say that because I have been in the presence of some parents that are very standoffish and say, my child is not learning at that school or in that classroom or because of that teacher. And so I give them pushback. I said, okay, well, are you engaged with your son or daughter when they get home? And when the first thing that rolls out of your mouth is, I don't have time, it's problematic for me. Because you are expecting the teacher to teach, but that reinforcement is necessary for you at home.
I definitely agree. And you brought up something like their mental development and their physical development as well at home also does impact their ability to learn. I wanted to go back to someone asked about the text for help that can be used. Is the text for help number is 844-201-9946. And it can be used by students and parents. And then one other item that is happening in our area, in the South Fulton area, is that we are building a middle college. And a middle college is the ability for our students to graduate with a high school diploma and 2 technical college certifications. We are in the process of reimagining and transforming McLaren High School campus into this FCS, what we call middle school. Georgia has the ability for us to allow a student to graduate from high school and earn 2 technical college certifications. And we're partnering with Atlanta Technical College to do that. Construction will begin this year, and we're planning to open that campus in August 2024. So we want to make sure that we're still offering our students quality education as well as the ability to earn a good living if that's something that they want to do in a high wage, highly skilled demand as well.
Very good. Very good. Okay, Ms. Dove. I have a couple of questions from the chat.
Okay.
And one of them is, now you might have answered this one with the Westlake situation when you, because they asked about have 11th and the 12th graders at Westlake gone through a residency verification. So that might have been already answered when you found out that children were coming in from other counties.
Well, that's a really specific question, right? So our policy says that if a student is in a 12th grade, we're going to allow them to graduate, right? We're not messing with a 12th grader and 11th graders. We will start to look at, as the board, everyone's interested in looking at the attendance policy. We hired an attendance director who is also going to start will give us a plan about what we're going to do come the fall for next year. And it doesn't just impact Westlake. Westlake just happened to get all of the recent news because it was overcrowded, right? But we have that throughout our district where families decide they choose one school over another, who go to Banneker or Langston Hughes or Creekside or Tri-Cities and should be going to another district school altogether.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. And then this one is from Connie Branch. How do the schools handle students that are in need of mental counseling and it is affecting their education?
I would say that, if you know that a student is facing mental challenges, to reach out to our counseling office and they'll be able to direct you to the right services. One of the things that's in Banneker and Tri-Cities is just that. That's why they call it a safe center. That area is for students when they need to take a break and they can go into this area and speak to someone without being made fun of about how they feel. Right? It's a really nice office. It has job career things in it as well as suits and training. So we try to make that discreet. It doesn't happen. We don't have that safe center at every building, but every building has counselors that can direct a student to how to receive those mental services. And we will work with the families to provide those.
And what about...
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Can I say one more other thing? One other thing about that is that we provide those services for counselors for our students, and they do not show up, even though they're virtual. So I would ask that if a student and a family needs those services, please show up to those services so that you can receive them.
Right. And I concur with that. Also, since we're speaking about safety and the student safetyness, what has been done in our school since we know that there have been, shootings and other types of incidents in, across the country? What are we doing to ensure that type of safety in our schools?
We'll do what we continue to do and ramp that up, right? We have our own police department, and they're more student friendly and student focused, who are in our buildings. We also have security guards, and that's the physical piece, right? But we also implement clear book bags in some situations. We implement it, and we took a look at some of our discipline policies, and we basically are having a no tolerance for certain types of behavior. And that has been very critical for parents as well. So, and then the other things I can't give you all of our safety and security. But, those are just a few of the things that we've done to continue to look at it, but you're always looking at it, right?
Right.
As you know, people are getting smarter and smarter. Instead of using metal, they're using plastic and things of that nature. You just don't know.
Right. Exactly.
And so we lead, our board looks to the superintendent and to our head of security and police department, our chief, to make recommendations. We have cameras all throughout our buildings. We have cameras on on outside. We're starting to install tag readers, right? So when people come on a property, you automatically know if there is something going on with that particular car.
Right. If they use the car, but exactly, and I think that's excellent. With the tag readers and everything else that you all are putting in place, cameras and stuff. So that's great. And let's see, I don't see any more hands up. I don't see any more questions in the chat.
I have a question.
Oh, okay, Mr. Conway, you listen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Miss Dove, do you have any data that shows a nexus between unemployment, high school dropout, and crime in the South Fulton? Is that something you have access to?
Not off the top of my head. I don't know if I have access to that information. We would have to work with the other, unemployment department, see what their numbers are, see what our graduation rates are, and then pull those pieces of data together is where I would say, we look at our graduation rates in our high school. We have an 82% graduation rate in this area. So, and some schools are even higher.
When it comes to the Black males in South Fulton, what is that graduation rate?
I don't know that answer, sir. Sorry. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah. I think he can probably get that offline too. I'll look it up for you, Mr. Conway, and make sure you get that. Okay.
All right. It's almost 7:30. Any more questions?
You are exactly correct. It is 7:29. I will turn it back over to Councilman Reeves if he's on the line, or if he can get through.
Yes, hello, there you go. I'm over here having ice cream and cake with one of our good residents here, Miss Judith Hinton, because today is her birthday. And so, but I do also want to thank Sister Dove for coming on and explaining that for all that she does. She does such a marvelous job at, and thank her for just being who she is. And so thank you again for coming on. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our evening for tonight.
Oh, one announcement. I'm sorry, Councilman Reeves. One announcement for tomorrow. Those that, so we're having, safety and fire and safety tomorrow at Burdette from 6 to 8.
From 6 to 8 at Burdette, at Burdette Park, at the community room. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Jane, for reminding us of that. And
can we clap it up for Ms. Williams for managing this meeting this evening? Excellent job.
Thank you.
Hey, get this. She's always ready to step up. That's what she does. That's Jane Williams right there, and so.
Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome.
I will get back to you on how to handle radon gas in our community. There's actually environmental controls that can monitor that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long day. 7:30 is our time, and we're going to end the call today on time. Thank you, Ms. Dove, again. What time is your meeting tomorrow?
She said 6:30. 6:30.
Okay, good deal. All right. Well, look here. Y'all have a good evening. Love you. Can't do nothing about it. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you all. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome. Good night.